some rumors now on Baker Mayfield. So the big question is, Baker Mayfield now done in Cleveland? Now, what comes of this? Tony Pauline had said something along the lines that the Indianapolis Colts would be a destination that Baker would be willing to go. Other reports have come out that also suggest he'd be open to maybe going to Seattle here. Now, he also released an interesting statement on social media, just talking about everything that's going on, how much he's loved Cleveland, his experience, what it's meant for him. And I think we'd be remiss not to talk about the impact that Baker has had on Cleveland. Before Baker Mayfield, Cleveland was just this disposable quarterback graveyard in a sense from all the
We've all seen
teams.
the meme jersey.
Well, even Denver was getting there. So I can't really dog Cleveland too much because Denver at one point was getting to that point. But it's like you get a guy that, obviously first overall pick in the NFL draft, you come in and he changes the culture right away in Cleveland. He has this energy to him, this swagger. He wakes up feeling dangerous. And not only that too, Tommy, he helped them win their first playoff game in forever. And all of a sudden now it seems like the Cleveland Browns franchise wants to just discard Baker Mayfield for Deshaun Watson. And all this is really stemming from the Browns meeting with Deshaun Watson. So I think there's a lot of things we have to take a look at here regarding this situation here. I personally believe Cleveland is dumb. They are dumb if, in fact, they do get rid of Baker Mayfield here. And look, here's the deal. If you get Deshaun Watson, okay, you know what? Yes, you're getting a very good quarterback. But at the end of the day, this is a risky move here for the Browns franchise. I understand the appeal of getting one of the most talented quarterbacks in the National Football League. All things considered, it may not work out, right? Here's the deal. Who knows if it's going to work out with Baker Mayfield in Cleveland, though, Tommy? But here's the deal. You invested in him. You gave him a first overall pick in the NFL draft, and he's taken your organization to heights in the last couple of years that they haven't been in decades. I am not a big fan of the way that Cleveland is treating Baker Mayfield. And I know we have several fans that have commented on our YouTube video the other day when we talked about the Browns potentially fielding exploratory trade calls. They're saying, oh, goodbye, Baker. He's a diva. Be careful what you wish for. You never know what you had until it's gone. I guarantee you Baker goes to another place that has some pieces around him. Watch him light it up, and then we're going to be like, wow, look at you, Cleveland. Congratulations. What are your thoughts on this, Tommy?
I mean, do you really need to put another chip on Baker Mayfield's shoulder? Because I think he's got big enough shoulders to cover, so long when they're healthy. Like, you think about the Cleveland Browns just as a franchise, like, you're 3 years removed from Bud Light fridges being opened up just because you won a home game. Like, he brought the first playoff win in 26 years, beating the rival Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs. Like, the Browns went from the laughingstock of the NFL. And I'm pretty sure, like, NB Sports, they put out that picture. It was like the most wins from a franchise since 2010. You know who's on the bottom of that list? It was the Cleveland Browns, not the Detroit Lions. So, yeah, you became all of a sudden Super Bowl contenders, thinking that all of a sudden the Browns were back, but forgetting about all the years of just pure ineptitude from the top down and all these quarterbacks who could never get it done. You finally got something going with Baker Mayfield, despite him having 4 head coaches in his first 3 years in the league. Then you bring in a new system, and it takes a little bit of time to figure it out. And you saw that progression happen towards the end of the 2020 season. Not to mention, they're installing all that during the COVID, during the height of the pandemic, when teams don't have as much time to be able to talk back and forth with their players. Odell Beckham Jr. also gets hurt during this time frame. You see throws he wasn't willing to take with OBJ. All of a sudden, he's now making. We saw the progression. But then last year, week 2, Baker Mayfield, torn labrum, and it hampers his entire season despite Kevin Stefanski never changing how they want to use him. You still roll him out there using play action, which is what Baker Mayfield had so much success with when he was in Oklahoma. But when you're not healthy, you can't do all the things you want to do. Like, I love the grittiness of Baker wanting to go out there and still play. But to sit here and say, like, all of a sudden, good riddance, we don't want you anymore, and just forgetting the recent history. Like, this is not a long time ago. This is not like the New England Patriots, where you've had now decades of success, and there are some people, literally, who have been born never knowing the Patriots to suck. Guess what, Browns fans? You're not that far away from sucking. So all of a sudden, when Baker Mayfield, if he goes off somewhere else, all more respect to him. Good luck, and I hope he end up burning the Cleveland Browns at some point, because honestly, I don't see him coming back. One thing I do want to say too, a lot of these players, we know they're not writing their own statements. We know these are coming from agents or publicists. That came from Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And I think that also shows right there the type of person that he is. Like, hey, look, I'm going to put all this out there, whether you like him or not. At least I would expect him putting his face out there and not using the words of an agent to put his own statement out.
Well, he's been made out to be the bad guy in Cleveland. And look,
Yeah.
Baker has struggled with some of his decisions. And, we talk about the near interceptions on, Christmas Day against the Green
Yeah.
Bay Packers there. There's some things like he's playing hyper aggressive. Like that is what you get. He's a gunslinger in a sense. He plays with a gunslinger mentality here. It doesn't help that Kevin Stefanski had put him in that type of position as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, while Baker obviously still has room to grow as a player and as a quarterback, the fact that you were potentially getting rid of a guy that you brought in to be a franchise guy for something that may not even work out in a sense, like the whole thing with Deshaun Watson could free ball. Like, what if he decides to leave? Now they're like, if Deshaun Watson decides he does not want to go to Cleveland, you have completely soured the relationship with the guy that was supposed to be your franchise quarterback. He loves Cleveland as the place. However, that relationship is now irreparable, in my opinion. And now you have no choice but to maybe look at trading him away. And look, maybe you can get Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, I don't know here, but it's like Cleveland.
It's all spitballing.
They're
That's all
setting
we're all
this
trying
all.
to do.
They're setting themselves up for this right here, and obviously